Hey everybody, I am on Cape Henlopen. I think that's how you pronounce it, formerly Fort Miles. It's 2023 in February, and right now there's a lot of things in the news about, Chinese balloons and different flying objects coming through. And we're thinking a lot about the defense of America. Well, back in World War II, apparently we were preparing for attacks from the Japanese and also the Germans. I didn't really know that, and I was just curious and wanted to see what it looked like. So there's different gun batteries out here to defend our coasts. And I'm going to go search for them, and you're going to come along. So let's go. So now this place is public park, state park in Delaware. And there's a lot of wildlife around, and mostly people here to enjoy the beach. And I'm going to go up this thing called the Hawk Watch. So we're going to go up the stairs and see if we get a good view of the beach. Maybe I can find these gun batteries from here. We can see a tower down there, and that was meant to direct fire. So if submarines, or so has been some sort of invasion, they could see any airplanes or submarines or sea vessels to know where to fire. So as we can see, we have, these are some of the animals that hang out around here. We got falcons and eagles and vultures. Saw quite a few vultures on the way down here. We are not too far from Rehoboth Beach. So, but it's the winter time, so you're not gonna get too many people on the beach. I don't see anybody walking down there. It's pretty damn cold right now, but hopefully I'm dressed apart and I'm up for it. So let's go down the beach and check it out. Battery hunter, that's what I am right now, hunting for these batteries. There is the Atlantic Ocean. There's not a soul out here. I don't think anybody else is crazy enough to be out here on a winter's day. It has to be about 40 something degrees, 30, 40. I didn't check the weather. I just got moving. No evidence of any defensive positions. I wonder if I'm in the wrong location. Look at all that sea foam. I don't care what season it is. The beach is always beautiful. Just not beautiful enough for me to stay here. So I'm going to try to head to another location. Hopefully we'll have some luck. All right, I found something. So here is an observation tower. So they use these to see if the enemy was coming, and they could direct fire from here. So can you go up that? Yeah. Oh, awesome. So there it is. There's the observation tower. So there were 11 of these were built, and they were built from 1939 to 1942. I suspect after Hitler started World War II, America started just being cautious. They were built the last 20 years, but it's still here, and I'm gonna climb up this thing. So we're gonna head up, check out the observation tower. All right, here's a view. I don't know if all these trees were here at the time, but I can't see very much, so we're gonna go up higher. There we are. So you can see out there, there's a little ship. I don't know if you can see it that far, but they'd have some scopes out here where you can see a bit further. And I think some of the batteries would be up here, some of the artillery to know where to fire. And they'd observe and see if they see any submarines or any sort of enemy. Oh, you know what? There's a big gun down there. Maybe when I go down, I can take a little peek. But you can go further up. I think I'm gonna stay here and go on the hunt for these guns before it gets too rainy. But you can see you got a 360 view of the place. And the beach goes all the way along there. You know, you see so many World War II movies and you learn about in history about us over in Europe and us in Japan, but you don't think much about us preparing for defense here. Not much happened here other than Pearl Harbor, and I think a few Japanese balloons flew into inland to drop bombs and didn't really do much harm. But yeah, I didn't know about this place, and I was just curious. I wanted to check it out, and I wanted to take you guys along. So let's go down and look for some guns. So I'm here on a Sunday, but if I were here during a weekday, I could visit the museum. And as you can see, anybody who's seen any old military structures, these are some old military buildings from when there were troops here. So these are 3-inch deck guns. You might find these on old naval ships, but they put them here also. At that time, they were effective anti-aircraft guns. And you can see they're pretty long, powerful. Now, 3-inch refer to the diameter of the barrels. Sit right there. Either be directed on where to fire or they see it themselves. So they never really got to use these here, but that's what they were for. I'm not necessarily here to celebrate military history and exclusively. I just like history, and I never knew that this stuff existed. I didn't know that Delaware, that they prepared in this area for coastal defense, and I'm curious to why the Germans would attack here in the first place specifically. Maybe we'll find that out. Here's another big gun with tires. A couple other 3-inch guns. So I'm pretty certain now that these are all grouped together, that they were moved here because they wouldn't normally be this close together. It's pretty cold here, so I'm pretty much the only person around. And also today, what is it, February 13, 12, I think today's February 11th. It's a Sunday, I'm not sure, but it's Super Bowl Sunday, so everybody's probably at home worried about the Super Bowl. I don't really care, so here I am. Let's go explore. That's the big boy. That launches some large shells there. That might put a little hole in something. So this here, that's a 16-inch gun. They're pretty powerful. As you can see, this hole here, that right there is an armor plate, and it's 17.5 inches thick. The hole was created by one of these 16-inch guns, and when you fire something at armored plate, it's called proofing to see how effective it is. But this is how the hole looks. This is a real hole from one of these. One of these or equivalent gun, 16 inches, and it went straight through. So you know, any ships or anything like that that came near, that's what they can expect. But that thing is massive, and that round right there, that's what would go through. That's what would go through one of the ships. And those observation towers that they had, I think there were 11 of them, would triangulate and say, hey, we have these coordinates. This is where you need to launch your artillery. And they let loose. Can only imagine the sound of one of these. They'd have a whole bunch of these, and I'm sure they'd have a whole crew that would man these things. So they're pretty big. I am 5'11", Yeah, it's about my height exactly. At least it looks like that way on the camera. Sure, it weighs a bit more. And we got this big one, 6-inch gun. My whole GoPro fits in here. Wow. There's some nice paved trails here now. And this is mostly just a public beach for people to take a stroll in, have little nice trails, wheelchair accessible, and probably a fun place for kids and everybody during the summertime. I think the remnants of the military equipment is just that, remnants, and just things that people try to preserve to remember a certain time. I'm sure when that stuff was going on, the community here was rallying around each other and supporting each other, and military people running around were a big part of life at that point. And there are probably a handful of people who still remember that time. And it is important to preserve history. Ah, this must be the museum. So the museum is closed because it's Sunday. This is Herring Point. Now this was used for several things. They did top secret test here. They tested some weapon with a proximity fuse on it for the first time. So when they launched it and it headed towards a target, it would blow up when it got near that target. But they also used this area to spy on Soviet subs. So, you know, at a certain distance, I can't remember what it was, maybe 11 miles away from a country is international waters. And Soviet subs would come here and take a little peek at the country and see what was up. Well, they weren't the only ones doing the looking. People would come and look. We would look at them and monitor their communications and things like that. So this is a big solid structure that can't be examined. I can't see other than the outside. I'm not sure what that is. Look like those could be vents. I don't know if they're windows. But likely wildlife lives under here, so I'm not gonna go under. But it's a pretty curious building. Battery Herring. I can see the beautiful art left behind. It's interesting how they've bored a hole. I guess that's for the door. This is a beautiful place, and I enjoy seeing stuff like this, and I love the water. It is winter. It is really, really cold, but you know, whatever. You know, me living near the mountains now, I don't get to see the water, so this is a treat for me. So glad I got to take you guys along. If you like stuff like this, subscribe. It's been a while. I have a lot planned for this year, so subscribe and stick along. And if you're not and you're just here passing through, thanks for passing through. I appreciate you being here. Anyway, I love you guys. Let's go and have fun this year. Take care. Hey everybody, I am in Fort Henlopen.